any high performance sport, we rely heavily on partnerships with corporate entities, and we're always looking for partnerships that are easy to activate, where we have shared values, where the two things sit side by side. And in Aspen, we're absolutely delighted to have found a partner where there is so much synergy around the Aspen pillars, the 4 Aspen pillars, and how we drive our team. And I'm going out on the water and kind of demonstrating Aspen values without even thinking about it, because there's so much synergy, and it's just a joy to work with a partner like that. And I think it kind of makes the sport whole, and it makes it so much more accessible for so many more people.
Look, I think there's a number of reasons, but critical for me is our shared values, particularly those values around innovation and collaboration. You know, teamwork to both of us is absolutely critical, and we can't do what we do in isolation. I think also Pip's vision of doing it differently really resided with Aspen. When you think about when Pip sailed the race a few years ago and the difference in boat, technology, how she's approaching it, really made me think about the Aspen journey, particularly, you know, that first, I guess, 17 years of Aspen, and how over the last 5 years we've really made changes, looking at things differently, and really turned things around. So I think that's quite critical, and makes Pip a critical ambassador for Aspen.
The Vendée Globe is a solo sailing event, but it is everything is built on the success of a team. In the build-up to the Vendée Globe, our job is to make the boat fast, make it strong, make it resilient, make me fast, strong and resilient. And so we work together as a team. We each take responsibility for different areas, both of the business and of the boat and of my performance. And we use data to understand what our current situation is. We look at how it could be better, and then we're constantly driving to work through problems, to improve performance, and to make me and the boat as good as we possibly could be. I couldn't do all of that on my own, and I don't have the skills or the knowledge base to excel in all of those areas. So I rely heavily on my team to bring their own knowledge, perspective, understanding, ideas to the table. Together we work on a definition of what good looks like, and then they hand it over to me, and I just get to use the finished product. So it's very much a team sport.
Oh, look, I said earlier on, it's this is a team sport for us as well. Yes, underwriting is at the heart of what we do, but as an underwriter, we wouldn't be able to succeed and pick and choose the right risks without the support of the team around us. Finance, claims, actuarial, the data and analytics that we get, the expertise that feeds in from each of those individual areas, again, is critical for us to be able to choose the right risks, proactively manage a portfolio, and to succeed in what we're doing.
Well, it's funny, it's described as a single-handed race, but it's an absolute team effort, and the skipper is a lucky one to sail the boat. But you're really sailing the boat on behalf and on top of all the team. But it goes wider than the immediate team. You know, when we did our campaign, we broke the project down into all of its constituent parts. And then we tried to find partners to take each one that small step forward, hoping that in turn we would get a stride in terms of performance. So we worked with NASA on sleep patterns, we developed clothing, we had another team working on food with a sports university. And so kind of the bigger the team, and if they're all pulling on the same rope, to the same values, to the same goal, suddenly collectively you get this huge stride in terms of performance. So it's absolutely key.
Technology is one of the things that really drives the Vendée Globe race and really makes it exciting. So edition to edition, we see new things, we see records broken, we're seeing boats that fly above the water. I think that's one of the most striking things, certainly in the basic design of the boats, is how they fly. But I would say one of the biggest jumps we've seen between this race and the last is actually in satellite technology. how good it is, how much faster it is and available, which means that we have better access to weather data. So we can real time watch clouds forming on the equator, which is amazing. But it also means that I can real time share my experiences with people on the shore. So all of our partners and our followers get a boost from that satellite technology as well.
I think, for me, it's artificial intelligence. That AI, that two-letter acronym's quite scary for some. It's not new. It's been around for quite a long time, but actually the journey that it's going to go on over the next 5 to 10 years, I think is really exciting. It's not going to replace people, but it's going to be critical from a data and analytics perspective to really, risk triage, faster claims payments, servicing our clients, and thinking about how we can use that to be smarter, more efficient, and there for our clients in their needs over the next few years.
Well, as an old duffer, when I did it 27 years ago, we were at the cutting edge of technology, and you really felt we were, but that cutting edge is always being pushed with time. And so although we're striving for the same outcome and motivated by the same things, if you look at the numbers, when I did the race, a good entry was getting around, you could say 100 days, and the record is now 74. So the interesting thing is the limiting resource on a Vendée Globe campaign is one person trying to do the job of a whole crew. And so to make up for that shortfall, you're using innovation and technology. And it's a bit like Formula One. You look back at Formula One, and there were crashes, there was all sorts of disasters. They were doing their best. They're now going faster, but they're much safer. And there's a real parallel there when you look at the progress of the Vendée Globe. So it's the lifeblood of the Vendée is innovation and technology.
In a way, although the Vendée Globe race sounds like the most exciting, wild race on the planet, single-handed, non-stop around the world, when you pare it right back, it's actually a massive exercise in understanding risk and managing risk. The first goal is to get around the world, and that means that we need to keep the boat whole, we need to keep me whole and safe for 3 months of extreme sailing on an extreme boat in extreme conditions. So you do that by analysing all the things that could go wrong, making sure that I'm prepared to repair things along the way, making sure we have redundancy, so we carry 2 or 3 processors, autopilots, water makers, kind of all of those things. We face failure. We look at it, we analyse failure, we accept the fact that items will fail on the way, and we make plans to safeguard against that failure or to work around it. However, you can't just be safe. This is a race, this is about high performance. And if you just loaded the boat up with tools and spares, if you made it as strong as it possibly could be, it would be slow. We would not perform in the way we want to. And so there's a risk there as well. There's a risk that you over-engineer the boat and it's slow and you can't drive the performance that you want. So we need to find the right balance between those two. And actually I take that philosophy of preparation into the race itself. So during the race, I'm constantly analysing risk. And it's not just the risk of what does that weather situation look like, what happens if I hold this sail up for too long. It's actually the risk of, well, if I slow down and this competitor gets away from me, will I ever be able to get them again? So all the time I'm thinking, where is the risk? Is the risk a piece of land I don't want to hit? Is the risk a big storm? Or is the risk this competitor getting away from me? And I have to again decide kind of where my appetite for risk is, what's important, and then make my decisions based on that.
Well, it's certainly evolving at the moment. We're in very interesting times at the moment, both not only geopolitical but macroeconomic, climate change, but we can't take away from the fact that insurance is a risk business. We don't have a crystal ball. However, it's about using our people, our experts, our data, our technology to really navigate through what that landscape looks like over the coming years, about not being overly exposed in any one area. Diversity is critical. Not being scared to pull back in areas that we need to pull back into. Not being scared to pivot into areas where actually some of these risks create opportunities for Aspen, and underwriting discipline is going to be critical over that period.